So I've probably recorded this video about 5 separate times at this point because I don't think I'm hitting the right points that I'm trying to hit with this video. And I haven't been getting it right. Hopefully I get it right this time, and whatever version you're seeing is the one that's going to be uploaded, obviously, like the one that I think is the best one, that I think I hit all my points on, because this isn't a very structured video, to be honest. Usually, like with something like this, I would write up a script, or I would do something like that. But I feel like, first of all, it's 3 a.m. I can't fucking sleep, man. Like, I don't feel like writing up a script right now for a video. Second of all, I just feel like with something this personal to me, I feel like I should just like tell it from the heart, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna tell you guys a story real quick. So this is April of this year, which is 2022, and I was honestly heavily depressed. And I'm not going to go into detail on why, because it's some very personal stuff. There's some regrets that I have, and still have to this day, some of them. Some shit that was said, things I said, things I could have said, but waited until later to think of them. Things I did, just kind of being a bit of self-aware of how some of my actions and words that I said, and I was just heavily depressed, and I was drinking and smoking a lot, and I was inside a lot, and I wanted a different game to play, because the last time I was in a huge depression, it was over a breakup, and the game I played was GTA 4, which, I mean, I've already said it before, GTA 4 is probably one of, if not my absolute number one favorite video game of all time. I think I said COD 4 is. Honestly, COD 4, GTA 4, World at War, those 3 games, like, whenever people ask me what my number one favorite is, I always tell them it's either of those 3. So my number one favorite game kind of alternates depending on the mood, I guess, but I've already played GTA 4 a million times, and that game did help me when I was in that depressive phase, but this time it was different. I wanted a different game. I wanted a new game. I bought Max Payne, the original Max Payne, for the PS4, like the PS2 version of it, and I love that game. I still love that game. But that game didn't hold me over for very long, because it's kind of a difficult game, but it ain't no Bloodborne or Dark Souls, you know? So I was finished with it within like a couple days, and I beat it on hard mode after a week, and after that I was kind of like, well, what else is there? I guess I should have started this with saying that Elden Ring had dropped a couple months before this, and that was another reason that was one of the things that got me towards Bloodborne. Because Elden Ring dropped, and I love that game. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, and it was probably the first FromSoft game since the original Dark Souls that I got like really into, and quite enjoyed a lot. I never beat it. I only got about like 70-something hours into Elden Ring, and then I just quit playing it, because with super big open worlds like that, I kind of just lose interest after a while, because it's like there's so much to do, it's kind of overwhelming for me, and I just kind of tune out. But that game's combat and everything was something I loved, and it just really made me want to revisit Bloodborne, because the last time I played Bloodborne, I had played it before, and that was for the video that I posted that I still have on my channel. It's the gameplay and commentary video where I was getting my ass kicked by fucking Father Gascoigne in Central Yharnam. And I had gone back to it after I was done editing that video, and I got my ass kicked again, and I was like, yeah, fuck this game, and I didn't touch it for a while. But then I went back to it after I beat Max Payne 1 on hard mode and on the easy mode, and I was like, let's give it another shot. So I did, and I actually beat Cleric Beast and Father Gascoigne on my first try, and I'm not really... I wish I could prove it, but I can't. But I guess the way to prove it would be to say that I did get my ass kicked by both of those bosses, like, relentlessly, because I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about, like, under-leveling and over-leveling. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing with, like, the weapon scale and, like, the stats and stuff that you could upgrade. I didn't know how everything worked exactly. The only stat I really knew was Vitality, which just increases your health. But it was confusing to me, and I just kind of, I don't know, like I said, it was confusing to me, and the whole game I just kind of didn't get. But my second time going back to it, I finally did start to get the hang of it. I practiced a lot of parrying, and that was really what got me to defeat Gascoigne finally, and I was super proud of that. And I was like, you know what? I've already beat the first two bosses of the game, so maybe I should try to actually, like, play the game. I'm going to try to beat the game, and we'll see what happens. So the next boss after that I fought was the Blood-Starved Beast, which I was struggling so hard. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I just could not get the fight down for the life of me. And all these bosses in this game are a piece of cake to me now, except for maybe Gehrman. But my first time, dude, my first playthrough, it was absolute just relentless, like, gangbanging me. And it was bad, but I did eventually defeat the Blood-Starved Beast after watching a lot of guides. I didn't use pungent blood cocktails like a bitchless maidenless, bitch. But I did defeat Blood-Starved Beast, and then after that was Victar Amelia, which is one of my favorite lore tidbits of Bloodborne. And I started plowing through the game, and even though I was getting my ass kicked by every boss, I think on my first playthrough I did die to almost every boss at least once. And I feel like that's most people's experience with these games, like on their first playthroughs, on their first real playthroughs anyway. You're gonna die you're gonna die, okay? You're gonna die a lot in this game. And I knew that, but it was something about the difficulty in this game stood out to me. And say what you want about the gameplay of these Souls games, they are extremely rewarding when you finally do defeat that boss that you've been struggling with for a long time. And that's why everyone likes these games, is because the bullshit in it is minuscule. And the most of the difficulty's fair, is what I'm trying to say. And I kind of used that knowledge, and I was like, I can learn the game now. Like, the difficulty is fair, so I can just try to do my best to learn the mechanics of the game, and try to keep a level head and just actually, like, defeat some fucking bosses and kick some ass. And I eventually did. With more and more playthroughs of the game, I finally started getting the hang of it a little more, and I started killing these bosses and shit. And the more and more I played through the game, I started getting addicted to it. But that initial playthrough stuck with me because everything was new to me, and I felt like I was actually accomplishing stuff. And when I finally defeated Gehrman, which, by the way, Gehrman fucking took me over a day to beat, and I finally did, and it was the most rewarding thing ever. And as soon as you defeat Gehrman, you get the cutscene, depending on which ending you choose, if you eat all three of the umbilical cords or not. If you do that, you have to defeat the moon presence after Gehrman. I didn't do that my first playthrough, I just had to kill Gehrman. But I finally beat him, and after the cutscene ended, the credits started rolling, and I just was kind of like... It was the first time playing a game in a long time where I was just staring at the credits scene and, like, just awe and just really thinking deeply about what I had just played. It was an incredible experience looking back on it, and I just, as corny as this fucking sounds, this is gonna sound so fucking bad, I know, this is gonna sound extremely cringy, but I genuinely feel like Bloodborne saved me in a way for my depression, at least, like, mentally, it did. It made me feel like I could actually accomplish stuff, and it made me feel like I actually, weirdly enough, like, had a purpose, and it kind of made me relook at stuff that I was doing in real life and in a different light. And it was kind of this moment for me where it didn't cure my depression completely, but it kind of made me look at it in a way that I hadn't seen it before, and it made me feel like I actually wasn't worthless, and that I could accomplish something great. Even if it's just a video game, I mean, like, it's something that really made me look at my own life in a different way, and I am always going to love the game for that. because it wouldn't be like that if the difficulty wasn't the way it was. And that's why I get so pissed off when people request FromSoft to make like an easy mode for these games. It's like, nah, man, you don't want an easy mode. You don't want to get babied. You want to actually suffer through the game, as harsh as that sounds. You want to suffer through these games because the best way to learn is through failure, right? They're getting your ass kicked by fucking Bloodstarved Beast or Murgo's Wet Nurse or something like that, you know? Like, it's just, you need to get your ass kicked so you can learn the mechanics. And that's all there is to it, man. Like, these games don't need a fucking easy mode because it would ruin why people like the games. And I'm so glad that FromSoft has actually addressed this and said, no, we're not putting an easy mode in these games because we want everyone to be on the same playing field. We want everyone to have the exact same experience. Or maybe not that way, but you know what I mean. Like, they want everyone to just experience the game. They want people to, like, overcome these obstacles without getting babied. They want them to actually do it on their own. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I did use some help a lot of the time on my first playthrough, but overall, like, I have gotten to the point where I can confidently defeat the main bosses in the game pretty consistently. I think the only boss I really die to consistently now, the main one anyway, is Gehrman, like I said. That dude's fucking hard to beat, but point being, this game, man, it really just, it saved me. I think it did. And I played it for months. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, over this summer, man, when I wasn't smoking weed or drinking or some shit, I was playing Bloodborne, man. It was late at night, from fucking midnight to 3 a.m. I was up all night playing Bloodborne, just fucking exploring Yharnam or finding the umbilical cord location so I could defeat the Moon Presence for the first time. And recently, I finally got the Old Hunters DLC for the first time, which I'm about to start getting into. I've heard that the bosses are even more difficult, which I'm pretty excited about, I guess. As excited as one would be, I suppose. And I really just wanted to make a video talking about Bloodborne. Maybe one day I'll go into the actual gameplay of it and why I think it's a masterpiece in that aspect, but yeah, man, this video is something I've wanted to make for a while, and I'm gonna do a similar video like this for 2 other games, which are Call of Duty 4 and GTA 4, and maybe Halo 2. I guess maybe eventually I'll do videos on all of the my favorite video games list, which I have added Bloodborne to that list, by the way, as well as Max Payne, so there is that. They'd probably be in my top 10 now, to be honest, but yeah, man, I just wanted to talk about Bloodborne today and explained how much of an impact it's made on me, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, peace.